and welcome to the next episode of Goa Wants to Know. We have a special guest from across the border, from Karnataka, a very senior minister, the oldest serving MLA of the Karnataka Assembly, has been an industrious minister and held many other portfolios, and of course he's here as one of the campaigners of the Congress. And we are here and we welcome Shri RAGHUNATH VISHWANATH DESHPANDE, Mr. R.V. Deshpande as he is better known. It's a sheer pleasure to welcome you here to our studios of Herald. Let us begin, Shri Deshpande ji, by asking you, you've toured the state and you've seen the Congress campaigning and all that. You, as a veteran congressman, you've come here in 2017 also, you were here as before that also. You are here whenever there are elections and otherwise. What do you see is the difference, if there is, between 2017 and now in the mood of the electorate?
See, what has happened in 2017, I think the polling percentage was about 81%
Right.
in the Goa polls.
Right.
And they gave 17 seats to the Congress and 13 to the BJP. So everybody felt that Congress is forming a government. The mandate, not though fully, was in favor of the Congress. But somehow the then Chief Minister, late Parrikar, I think played his own cards not in a democratic way and took help of the governor and formed the government.
Don't you blame your AICC desk in charge for that? For messing up?
I fully agree with you. Yes, to some extent, we are also to be blamed because immediately we should have staked our claim for the ministership. That apart, but the governor also should have realized that in number game we were far ahead of the BJP, and he should have had the patience to find out how the number game is. Then immediately inviting Mr. Parrikar.
Okay, moving on to the past. We'll keep the past behind because we've spoken about it. We know. What do you see now in terms of the pulse of the people?
I personally feel the BJP present government has gone away from the people. Because I know Goa well. I'm well connected with Goa, a lot of friends also. See, the last 5 years would tell me, except slogans, promises, what they have done. I don't see any major development happening. No programs for the farmer or the poor. And corruption has become rampant. Goa is a small but a very nice state. People are loving, sweet, good.
Yes, correct. So what you're essentially saying is that when this election started,
Yes.
many people didn't give Congress too much of hope because of the state of the party and the organization and leadership and so on and so forth. Now, given that inherent weakness, why do you say that you get a sense that you are poised to be on the verge of forming a government in Goa?
The reason is, one good thing has happened is, first of all, Congress, though some of our friends who defected to the BJP, 10 MLAs some of them wanted to come, they said no. This credit should go to Rahul Gandhi ji, who said no defect will be entertained. Number two, BJP has gone away, and luckily for the Congress, they have put good new faces, clean faces. See, ultimately people want what? They want a good face who can work for them, do development, care for them. And I think except Kamath, who was the ML of the sitting assembly, many have left us also. There are hardly 3 or 4 ex-MLAs. Otherwise, we find new faces There are educated people also. And I feel that this will work in this election. And the BJP candidates, most of them are people who have been elected twice, thrice, once time, and they lost their reputation. So that we should work in favor of the candidates and the party.
I'll ask you two questions which are related to the Goa-Karnataka relationship. And it's important because it's playing out in today's public discourse and political discourse. I will first start with the double tracking and the coal movement. The Congress in Goa has taken that up as a major issue. They feel that if the double tracking of the Southwestern Railways happens, it will eat into the land of many people. At the same time, bigger vehicles and coal of a greater tonnage is going to be moved through Goa, which will further lead to pollution and spillage and so on and so forth. But ultimately, one must understand that this is being done to facilitate the movement of coal through the region of Goa into Karnataka. If you look at the three linear projects also, the end beneficiary is going to be Karnataka Industries. Now, the people of Goa are extremely upset that their land is being used as a conduit or a pathway and not giving Goa any benefit, moving to Karnataka. As a senior leader from Karnataka, do you feel that there is some responsibility and accountability also on Karnataka's side to be sensitive to Goa's concerns?
No, please understand, one has to be concerned about the ecology and environment if you want a bright future.
Yes.
In a way, you see, the manifesto also reached that, Congress manifesto, and the senior leadership is also been talking about it. I think as far as, see, Goa is a very nice state and God, with the blessings of the God, and naturally environment, ecology, protection is right way. But Karnataka, which was ultimately a beneficiary, has to find different other ways of getting the coal. Ultimately, we have got industries, steel industries in Ballari belt and other things. They require.
So that's a very, very important point you're making, because what you're making, and in case the readers missed it, what Shri Deshpande said was very responsible. What he said was, Karnataka has to find other ways to get its coal.
Correct.
It's very clear.
You are very right. You have to find out ways, and there are ways. There are ways.
Not through the territory of Goa.
Not through the territory.
The other ways.
Please, I'll tell you. The coal, why it should be transported from Goa to Karnataka? We have stations in Londa, we have stations in Tineghat, we have stations at different places on the coast. We can find out places and make environmentally friendly atmosphere also and get it there.
You don't need to move, you don't need to cut it through Goa.
No, it will not go through the trucks, I said.
No, your trucks and trains. See, the coal transportation, trucks is one issue. The other is the coal transportation through trains, through wagons.
See, the point is, now somewhere we have to put a Lakshman Rekha.
Correct.
Ultimately,
you can even use the sea route. It's going to be much more expensive.
I was coming to that.
Correct.
See, we have an entire west coast. Karnataka also from Karwar to
take it there, of course.
Yes, to the
you
coast.
You can take it to the Karwar port. You can take other ports.
Karwar port.
Correct.
There are ports. So the coal can land in our ports.
Correct.
And from there it could be transported, nothing more than...
because what happens is that, in Karnataka being a bigger state, the whole issue of the railway lines literally cutting through people's homes and other issues may not be there.
No. More than that, we have got coast, we have got good road linkages also.
Correct.
We have got good road linkages also.
So that need to be
from
used.
the coast to Ballari.
Do you get the feeling, as such a veteran leader, that a lot of these decisions could also be taken to benefit the MPT as MPT's profits? Because the MPT is not getting enough money through mining anymore. So this is basically to augment MPT's revenue.
Yes, that could be a fact. But ultimately, see, with regard to mining also you remove. See, this mining also issue they have to resolve.
Yes, I will come to the mining question. Bear with me, because I'm looking forward to asking you mining questions as well. Quick thing, before we go to mining, we look at another issue which also starts with M, Mahadayi. Okay, yes. Because again, Mahadayi has been a bone of contention between the two states for long. it has led to a lot of hurt, anger, disappointment, and everything. And a long battle is being fought even now in the tribunal and all that. Goa rightly and strongly feels that there's been an illegal diversion of the water away from Goa into Karnataka, basically to kind of feed the canals of the Malprabha basin and augment the water resources of irrigation. As somebody who's literally in that belt, as it were, or maybe a little on the outskirts of the belt, but there you are in that region of Karnataka. When do you sympathize or do you empathize with Goa's concerns and feel that Karnataka's big brother attitude should not be there?
See, there is no big brother attitude. See, we look Goa state as a friendly state. Please understand, when Mr. Siddharama was the chief minister, he led a delegation to Delhi to meet the prime minister, and it was an all-party delegation. But the prime minister told chief minister, you try to convince your Goa Congress.
Who was the prime minister then?
I think Modi.
Modi, okay.
He told you.
But why would you try to convince the Goa Congress? Because
how can we?
The Congress was not the ruling party.
More than that, when Congress party in Goa, as far as Mahadayi is concerned, they will be concerned that their interests should be protected, along with the BJP also.
With what plea did you go to the Prime Minister?
The Prime Minister, we said, you call everybody and resolve this issue.
Right.
After all, Maharashtra, Karnataka and Goa.
But Deshpande ji, forgive me for saying this, but what I'm saying is that the tribunal all along, Goa fought very well in that tribunal. The tribunal very clearly had said that this diversion at this point of time is not required, not needed. Goa's allegation is that these diversions have happened in spite of the ban on diversions by the tribunal.
See, I don't agree with them that the diversions have happened. See, after all, it is not a irrigation. It is a drinking water problem.
Yes.
See, as far as drinking water is concerned, anywhere, any part of the country, there is a drinking water problem.
But we
should reciprocate each other.
Yes, but do you feel that Karnataka has completely overstated its drinking water needs to get more water to move from Goa to Karnataka?
No, there is no necessity. There is no necessity to do that. And suppose even we do. So a person like you sits, who has got some knowledge, he can find out what we have asked, which is the area we want that drinking water should go, what is the population, what is requirement and all. That you can do it.
Yes,
no difficult.
I can surely do it, but the Goa government has challenged those.
No, that is okay. See, Goa government also should not be adamant. See, we are neighboring states. We have to live together.
Right.
And we should, political parties, today Congress may come to power, tomorrow BJP may come. Ultimately, public interest, interest of the people are all important.
Right.
And drinking water is one where nobody should say no.
No, I understand that. We understand the two sides. This is Karnataka's side. We respect that side. The other side is Goa's side, which feels that Karnataka is overstating a lot of its needs to get more and more, extract more water from the mud.
There is no necessity for Karnataka to do that. See, successive governments of Karnataka have continued with the stand taken. There is no difference among us also as far as the stand is concerned. So I think this matters.
So when the Goa Congress makes the Mahadayi issue as a key point in the manifesto, and when the Goa Congress makes it a key point in the manifesto, they obviously mean that they are not in favor of this kind of.
So I said, the Prime Minister telling the Chief Minister to convince the Goa Congress was not a right reply. Was not a right decision of the Prime Minister. How can we convince? Can the Karnataka BJP convince the BJP in the Goa?
But will you back and support what's there in the Congress manifesto?
Where?
In Goa, which says the Mahadayi issue.
As far as Mahadayi issue is concerned, I am very clear to you. It has been our consistent stand that we should sit together amicably and resolve this issue. And not do it in the tribunals, then it will be years together.
But tribunal has already done its work.
Still the matter is in the court. Still matters in the court.
Correct. Okay, and we have spoken enough on Mahadayi, and we can't finish that in one conversation. Otherwise, we'll have to have a full-fledged interview on Mahadayi itself.
Yes.
Moving on, let's look at mining. Now, you have established your anti-illegal mining credentials.
Yes.
We are aware of that massive Padyatra you did when Sri Siddaramaiah was the leader of the opposition, and you walked for 300 kilometers across 17 days to Bellary to basically protest against an absolute loot and plunder of the Bellary mining belt.
Yes.
By the Bellary brothers, as they were called.
Reddy brothers.
The Reddy brothers in Bellary. Now, so that is one scenario. On the other scenario, we quickly cut, like a filmmaker, let's quickly cut to a Goa situation, where between 2007 and 2012, there was rampant illegalities in mining. I use the phrase illegalities in mining rather than illegal mining, because illegalities in mining covers a broader spectrum of illegalities which go beyond extraction into transportation and all that. You know it all. The Supreme Court has given two judgments on it. 435/1 writ petition, which came out in 2012, and the other one which came out in 2013, which struck down the renewal of 88 mining leases in spite of the court saying the mining should be stopped. These are two broad areas around which all discussions revolve. Now, the period where the whole illegalities is being talked about is from the year 2007 to 2012, exactly the tenure of Sri Digambar Kamath as the Chief Minister. Of course, Mr. Kamath has very, very eloquently kind of spoken about it. He's spoken about the exaggeration of the recoveries, and he has said that no illegalities were done in my time, there were central agencies and so on and so forth. Do you feel, as a anti-illegal mining leader, as everybody should be, that in those 5 years of the Congress term, the Congress party A has a lot to answer for, and B, that is one of the black spots in the Congress's track record in Goa?
Please understand, illegality, nobody can agree. And you are right. I was the PCC president and Siddaramaiah was opposition leader. We led a Padyatra against the Reddy brothers for all this rampant corruption, illegal things. Even Sri Chidambaram ji has very clearly stated that after elections are over, we will send an expert legal team to Goa and understand this. The real issues.
Okay.
And take up the matter with the Supreme Court for allowing legal mining. We don't endorse illegal mining, illegal things.
Understand. But has the party done any introspection of its governance between 2007
So
and
simply understand, as you just said, Kamath, who was the Chief Minister, has totally denied it. Understand? And to be very honest, I have not gone in detail into those things.
Sure.
So I will not be able to speak on that. But one thing is certain, even suppose in Kamath's time, some wrong has happened, it has to be corrected. Wrong is wrong.
The court has kind of laid down the roadmap. That roadmap has to be done properly and otherwise, again, that's a longer decision, but what you are essentially saying...
But one thing is understand, simply understand. Illegal mining, you are very right, it cannot be endorsed, it will not be endorsed by the Congress party. But ultimately, mining industry is also a very important industry for Goa economy. Today you tell me, Goa's total development is stopped. Coffers, there are no coffers. So, legal mining, if it is permitted, it can generate employment. A lot of things good can also happen.
But Deshpande ji, you are very right in what you are saying. Mining is important. But
I am talking about legal mining.
Legal mining. I agree with you. The point is that when coffers are empty, whose coffers are empty? People's coffers are empty. The state's coffers are empty. The government's coffers are empty, but the coffers of the big mining giants are not empty.
No, sir, please.
They have made enough money in those last...
I don't deny that.
For instance, coming back to Karnataka, the coffers of the Bellary brothers are never empty.
No, I don't say that. Simply understand. A responsible government, in democracy we expect every government to be responsible. So it is our responsibility to see that transparency is maintained, legal things happen. Suppose something legally is happening and in the process of legal things, if somebody earns money, I can't question. But whoever it may be, how powerful he is, government should act against those people.
Of course.
Peace TV we had agitation against Reddy brothers.
That's what we are waiting for.
Likewise, in Goa also, if somebody has filled his coffers with illegal things,
don't you agree that mining
law should take its own course?
Don't you think the benefits of mining should come to the common man? Because
Very right.
They are the custodians of the minerals of every land.
See, when other event I went to Sakli, I saw empty trucks lying without tires, this, that. Just imagine trucks, drivers. I was not subject to correction, more than 2.5 lakh people working in that industry. Yes. So please understand, you have deprived people of their livelihood. So poor are affected more.
So when mining restarts, one should see that the state government has greater control.
Yes.
I would say they should even have control over exports.
Correct.
The people should be given mining contracts locally, and it should be done in such a way that the mining giants don't take over the entire business and the state is merely a recipient of some of the taxes. The state cannot be a puppet in the hands of mining giants.
Never it should be. Never it should be. Never it should be.
Okay, coming back to larger general issues, who is your chief ministerial face?
See, please understand, the party has yet to take a decision. I think they should have taken by this time. But other states now, Punjab and all, they have taken decisions.
Yes.
So ultimately, the party has just 5-6 days now. Before that, they should announce. In case it is not there, the legislative party will decide, and the High Command will definitely have to endorse it.
But as Mr. Gundurao said to me in an interview, to other channels in the interview, he said there is no need to declare any name because it's very obvious. Do you agree?
See, I endorse his views because you see the contesting candidates, among the contesting 37 candidates, it is obvious who is the most senior and who has experience. But still, if the High Command had taken a decision, it would have been better according to me.
And named him.
Name, what wrong is there?
Of course.
If you could name in Punjab,
correct,
why not name in Goa? I don't think there is any problem in that. And Goa is more easy to announce.
One final question. I ask this to all senior leaders right now. All of y'all are talking about how your MLAs went to the church, to the Holy Cross, to the temple and took oath against defections. And you feel that is a very strong message that has come out, and that gives you a lot of confidence that your flock will be together. I would like to put you one interesting question. See, what happens is, taking a pledge before the Lord and your own God is solemn. It's a question of faith, and one should respect that. However, the point is, in a political situation, when the ruling party is so tough and aggressive, and there will be a few MLAs who will have skeletons in the cupboards and more. In the face of extraneous pressures that are not visible, and when I mean extraneous pressures, you very well know what I mean. Subtle threats, or the threats of agencies knocking at your door and stuff like that. If those kind of buttons are pressed, do you feel your MLAs will be able to withstand those pressures and not?
Please understand, more than they are taking oath, the decision of the Congress party not to enter in any defectors, 10 people who went, was the right decision.
Fair enough.
That itself gives credibility to the Congress party that it is not just behind power, it wants it also to in a proper way.
Here the Congress party is not at fault.
Yes.
I am talking
No, I'm coming to that. I'm coming to that point.
Yes.
Now, see, please understand, taking oath and all, as you rightly said, it is more a moral binding for a person.
Absolutely.
than a legal binding. To be very honest, constitutionally also you can't bind a person. Suppose some 50% MLAs go away. Some there are, for I will give you example, AAP party or the TMC party, two people get elected. One walks away. He can walk constitutionally.
Absolutely.
So it question of more morals than this. This vote taking and all has been done because Goa, Ayaram and Gayaram culture has increased. Just to create a confidence in the minds of the voters that yes, these are the MLAs who are morally binding themselves, that they will not defect. There will be pressures, but I think they should withstand and they will withstand.
On this note, Shri Deshpande, thank you very much for spending some time with us and giving your deep insights from your long years of experience. And it's a very pleasure to have such a senior leader of the old school to come and speak about Goa and a little bit about his own state. Thank you very much. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you and the Herald for giving me an opportunity to be here this evening.
Thank you.
Thank you.